What I love about the youth service is that it's not all just the adults leading the groups. It's more they give the power to the young people and they give them the voice.
How everyone just comes together for each different community. It's different, you don't see it everywhere.
Many things I love about the youth service, but the first I would have to say would be maybe just the opportunities that the youth service affords you. Because I think that crosses over not just from kind of workers, like I was given a chance as a worker with no kind of formal training, or just I was keen on the work, I had a little flair for working with young people, I just enjoyed it. So I think it's afforded me opportunity to kind of grow into an area of professionalism that I just enjoyed through volunteering. But I think that crosses over. I think it provides opportunities for young people involved or clients involved. So I think that's what I love most about it, is the opportunities, yeah.
Well, the work that it does with the young people, it taps into their energy and enthusiasm and uses it to positive ends. Some practical work, recreational work, and generally enjoyment as well. A nice mix of work, pleasure, entertainment, but ultimately rooted in development.
I love that it's just a place to come to relax, play games, meet new people, get new social life, builds your confidence.
I love being around people, and I love learning from other people, and I have learned loads from many of the youth workers, many of the amazing youth workers that I have worked with along the nearly 6 years now as a worker in the youth project. But I also made lots of friends as a young person who I'm still friends with, who I've grown up with through the project.
It was really good. It was a place for us to go anyway. I know for the two of us it was just a place to go and just chill out. Like there was times we go over, not far to go, just go over and chat, like, so that's what it was for us anyway.
And then you look back on it when you're getting older as well, kind of help you like mature as well, like.
Still trying.
As you can tell.
My fondest memory, I suppose, for me in achieving it is setting up the youth club in Clonea Power, No Limits Youth Club, and I set that up and it went for 25 years and I stuck with it for 25 years.
If I was to pick a moment out of all like the time, I'd probably say when I was like 11, we went to Mount Mellery for like 3 nights, and it was my favourite thing that I've ever done, and to this day I keep begging for another overnight up to Mount Mellery, because we done a like bonfire at the night and we all just sat around and sang songs all night, and it was so nice, and it was just really, you know, a nice experience for me. Yeah.
When we went up to Dublin for the visit, and my was so funny.
I have lots of very good memories, because we went on lots of trips and stuff when we were younger. We had great crack. But I suppose the most important thing was the chats and having a safe place to come and be able to talk and be valued and heard and trusted, and that even as a young person what you had to say really mattered, and I think that's the most important part.
I got to go to Oakwood with him. I got to go to Paris with him. It was my very first time in Paris, and I am a foodie of the highest order, and I love my food, and I was looking forward to my first meal in Paris, which was going to be absolutely brilliant. And we ended up in McDonald's, which I wouldn't be seen dead in, but on the Champs-Élysées, if you don't mind. But I loved it, you know.
Last summer we were able to do box and yoga, and it was like things that I'd never thought I'd be doing in my life. But we did that and it was fun, like, and it's always been, anytime we came here, it's always been fun.
I have to say, going to Woodstown. We used to go to Woodstown every year for 5 days, and we'd go to Lomareese, swimming, hikes. That was just my favourite thing to do. Campfires.
My best memory of the youth service would be the speech I did in the Tower Hotel for Trans-Ireland and Chill Out. I never thought that I would be able to speak in front of a crowd, but I spoke in front of 200 people that day, and I did a radio recording.
My best memory of the youth service is I played football for years up in Johns Park, so I had a fierce draw for the Shy project, and my best memory was the night that the board decided to put up the initial building in Johns Park. I thought that was a major decision, and it has led on to all the other buildings that we have, which is really, I suppose, it provides a great foundation for the youth service, and all the buildings are very strategically placed, and of course the buildings would be nothing without the staff that we have in them.
To start with, I'm going to say about Maggie, who was a young person in one of the first groups that was set up under the Shy. So I remember going out to Johns Park and Kilcone and all that, and we had to do this outreach to see who was around and what was needed in the area. And there was this very loud group of young people who obviously needed something to do. So I ended up talking to them, and the way into their hearts was singing on the street. So I remember singing Crazy with this group of young women who were part of the gang. And anyway, Maggie wasn't there at that time, but kind of we just got started a group, and then Maggie wandered up around where we were in the Butler Centre at the time. And I remember the young people used to talk to Maggie outside the group, but Maggie wouldn't come into the group. She'd wait outside the door on a Friday night. We had the group every Friday night, and Maggie would wait outside the door while everyone else was coming in, and no matter what I did, she just wouldn't come into the group. Like, I'd ask her every week, are you coming? But she'd always have to go babysitting or something like that. But eventually she took the plunge and walked in, and the rest is history.
But I knew the minute I met Chris she was special. I knew it, and I thought, and I knew she was safe. So I thought, I'll get in eventually, and I did. And they were doing batik. I don't know if you know batik, but it's like wax and dye, and it's really brilliant. And the group just completely accepted me, which was unique because I was not like them at all. I wasn't loud, I wasn't cool, I wasn't drinking and drugging, I was nothing like that. And but I just became one of them, and Chris made that happen. This is Louise. Louise is one of the young people I worked with. She was really, really young at the time, and she's from Sannerblan, and she used to hang out with all the girls, kind of, but always on the edge of the girls.
Yeah, so Maggie was my leader, and all that she was saying there, that the group I was in, it was always like two kind of cliques of girls, and I was just in the middle. And I never felt like I was excluded, but I never felt excluded, because every time I went to Shy, well, except sometimes at the door, Chris would be there with the book and the car waiting for your €2, and Maggie would sneak around the side and give me the €2. Because she knew I would never, like, some people could go in and say, I don't have it this week, I pay it next week, but I couldn't. And I know Chris wouldn't mind, but I just wasn't able to say I don't have the €2. And then Rachel was in a group, funny enough, with two gangs. But no, they weren't like those gangs, no, but they were like from two different estates. And they all got on really well together, but there was like the Johns Park girls and the Sannerblan girls. But I remember Rachel and one of the girls joined hip hop, and they were really good. So they decided that they wanted to show the group all their moves, so they came up with this idea of having a group where they would teach us all how to do the dance, and they were brilliant doing the dance, but weren't very forgiving when we couldn't understand the moves of the dance.
And I'd like to say something to Louise.
Oh my god.
Just thanks for everything from when I started up until still now going forward. You've always been there, even when we didn't make it easy for you. You stayed there, and thanks for not giving up on us, because look where I'm after getting now, and I think you played a huge part in that.
Oh, thanks, Rachel.
So I'm Simon's leader now, and I think I had you in the group since. Why did you even started? You were young anyway.
I was 7 when I
started. Yeah, and but I do remember then towards as you got older, you kind of weren't feeling it with that group anymore, and you were kind of just to the side while they just did their thing. You were there every week, but not feeling it. So I think you made the right decision. Simon came to me then and asked could he just go to a different group, and he is thriving. So he's getting on great there, and he's just done his junior leader training, so I'm really excited for him to get started in that because I know he'll be fantastic.
Rachel was my leader since I was about 7, and what she said about us never listening, it's so true, because even when we like come in and we do our news at the start, we'd go to make a circle with the chairs, and it was just never a circle. It was usually just like a square or like a diamond.
Or somebody over there, somebody over here.
We were never able to listen, but like, I think that group did a lot for me, because I was very shy beforehand, before I joined that group, and I still am a little shy, but the groups really helped, because I'm a lot more of an open person now, and I'm really looking forward to being a leader. New group that I joined is just, I think it's the best friends I've ever made, like, are in that group.
I'd just like to say to you, thanks for being so amazing. Like, all from being a young person to being your co-worker, I was privileged to work beside you, and then when I've seen things not be good for you, sorry, but I've seen you then go into those toppers groups where their needs are so high, and you're like, I'm on it because they matter, and I think that's amazing, and not everyone has that quality, so thank you.
Thank you. There's something about that longevity, and that's the sustainability of that, and that the Shy project has definitely contributed to that community, and everybody knows it, and like, you don't have to go and advertise. It's word of mouth. A lot of things is word of mouth out in the Shy project, but it's really lovely to see the different steps of the stairs, if you like, in that way for me, and it's particularly lovely for me to see.
I'd like to see young people be themselves, not to be like the next person and the next person. I'd like them to be individuals.
Enjoy it, but don't lose yourself within it, if that makes sense. I think the work's gotten a lot more sophisticated along the way. Definitely now with diversion, we're kind of laden down with admin and all that kind of stuff. And for the better, things have gotten tighter, like what you can do. I mean, child protection's a lot tighter, for the better. But sometimes I think you can lose a lot of the flavour in that and lose a lot of yourself. So maybe just don't lose yourself in the work too much, if that sounds right.
Take every opportunity that is offered to you there and try your best to take part in everything, because it's always going to be, even if you're scared, try it. It's always a great time.
Grab everything while you can.
Young people and older people are becoming actually kind of isolated, and I think phones and the internet are providing all this so-called connection, and we're losing that face-to-face and one-to-one contact, and I think there's a loss in that, and I think we're going to feel that in the next couple of years or the next 5 to 10 years, and for me there's a sadness in it, and I just think, being in groups, one-to-one contact, you can't replace that with technology.
Not to be afraid. A lot of kids feel like they're going to be judged for being in a group, but different people are just judged in general. But I just say go for it, and then you'll make friends and it'll change your mind completely.
If you ever have anything on your mind or anything, the door is always wide open, and you can vent, you can just have a game of pool. You don't have to talk if you don't want to, but the option's always there. There's no judgment made whatsoever, and you can just leave everything at the door and just have a chat.
Yep, spot on.
The youth service to me is like my second home almost. It's like whenever I'm in a bad mood or something, I have one of my meetings and then I go home. I'm in the best mood ever.
The youth service itself is, to me, is one big happy family, and I suppose any time that I needed help, there was always someone at the end of either a phone or I drive into Waterford and there'd be somebody there to help me.
Because we went through some tough times as well, with our friend passing away and stuff, and it it made everything much easier, like, much easier to cope and much easier to grow as a person.
The youth service plays a huge role in my life because, like, I get up every day and I go to work and I try to help and support young people to help them to reach their full potential. And I just feel that I can relate to it because I have come from a young age through the youth service and developed and progressed. And I feel that without the youth service giving me the support to progress, I wouldn't be the person who I am today.
That's easy. The people, the young people, the volunteers, the staff, all the way up to the board. We have, I think, the best people in Waterford and South Tipperary in our youth service, and I'm proud to know them, to work with them, to have the crack and the banter, but the people, that's the best part.